Hi guys, welcome back to Hairdryer Treatment. Soph and Meg are back. Apologies that we weren't around for the cool down the other night, but we said we had to get some content out before, obviously, a massive game tomorrow against Chelsea. Can I just say we both didn't get the memo, we didn't communicate this, but both of us turned up in caps today. Yeah, don't know what, it just happened. We just read each other's mind, Meg. I don't know what it is, but yeah, we both got the caps on today. Like I say, it wasn't planned. But Meg, how are you doing?
I mean, literally when I came online, I was like, Soph's gone for the cap as well. We're always twinning. I mean, we get so many comments about being sisters. Just on the same wavelength, obviously great minds. I'm in a really good mood, so it best not be. Well, it best carry on tomorrow. It best not be ruined by the end of tomorrow.
I know. How are you feeling about tomorrow, though? Obviously, Stamford Bridge is one that I always dread, and I don't know about you, but it always seems to be like a tight game, or yeah, like I just always dread going to Stamford Bridge. But our away form, like realistically, I should be feeling confident going into this one. But you know me and United, I never feel 100%. But hand on heart, Meg, how are you feeling going into this?
I feel just a little bit like I don't feel confident, but because I feel like it's just going to be a really close game.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was quite cagey. That the 0-0 early on in the season, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another 0-0 tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be a 0-0, but I do feel perhaps like for both teams it's a really important game not to drop points. We both would like to have 3 points, obviously. I think for us, if we're going to catch Man City, we can't drop any points tomorrow against Chelsea. We have to be able to beat these teams. And for them, currently not sat in Champions League position, they need to be picking the 3 points up as well. So, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see a cagey game, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a 0-0.
I've seen 0-0 before. Most big games this season, not having any fans in, like we've seen quite a lot of tight, dull. Like Manchester Derby was another one. Even Man City against Arsenal, I think Newcastle, like quiet affairs between these big clubs. And do you think the fans plays a big part in that? Do you think that that's the reason why, like, we haven't got that final push to get a goal, that lift from the fans? Or do you think it's a case where teams just don't want to they simply do not want to lose, and they're just trying to pick up points, and they'll take a draw rather than a loss? Do you think teams playing it a bit too safe?
Perhaps, but I think fans make a huge difference. They're all, they say that the fans are the 12th player, and I think when you're at a game and you can get behind the team, perhaps when the energy is kind of dipping a little bit, and the fans can bring that back up, or if you can feel it building, the fans are there to jump on that and again just bring that motivation to the forefront. But because it's so close in the Premier League, teams just don't want to drop any further down. They don't want to be out of any races, because if you lose tomorrow for Chelsea or United are going to get dragged into we probably are already, but being dragged more into the third, fourth, fifth kind of scrap that's going on. And if Chelsea don't win, they're looking behind them. They've got Liverpool, Everton. I still think Villa can go close to catching them as well. They're going to be looking behind them and thinking, we can't drop these points because we're trying to catch up to the ones that are in front of us, and we can still be caught. They're not guaranteed European football yet. No one is. But just need to make sure that we are. I don't know how the fans feel about this, and don't know how you feel about it, Soph, but I'm not sure whether the performance is necessarily what I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. It's about whether can we get those 3 points.
Yeah. And especially with the run of games, obviously got a lot of tough games coming up. And like you say, Meg, to start that run of games with a positive result, I think would mean a lot. A bit of confidence behind obviously the players. And like you say, we don't want to fall into that battle. Obviously, at the minute, second place, we want to kind of try and stay above it, but it's tight there. And this run of games now can make or break our season, if we're honest about it. I think Curler's just said in the chat we could lose them all, we could win them all. But it's how you start it, isn't it? I think for our mentality and our mindset, like away from home, we should be feeling confident because of the record that we hold. But yeah, we never know what United is going to turn up. And I think that's what makes me feel a bit on edge about it. It's the fact that you never know what United is going to turn up. And we know that Chelsea, new manager, they're going to be up for it against us. And we need to be on our A game. We need to be on our A game. And I just hope that we are. Let's have a look at what people are saying in the chat.
Natty P just put it's literally about results for the rest of the season now. We are actually in that, we're already in that business end of the season, aren't we? I think at the start you kind of want to see your team playing good football, fans get excited, and that literally sums it up. It is about results now. That we've got, if it comes off someone's backside and you win 2-1 tomorrow, that's fine. if it's a scrappy game and you win 1-0 right at the death of it, you've won 1-0. And okay, confidence might be low, but you've got to be able to get these. We've got to be able to get points tomorrow.
Definitely. Shiva said, hello ladies, enjoyed the show with you and Robbie. Guys, I'm going to London in the morning. I will be on Robbie's channel with Sophie Rose watching the game. You've all asked for a watch along. There's one coming tomorrow with me and Sophie Rose on Don Robbie's channel. Come and check that out. You'll see what I'm like during a game, and I can guarantee it'll be different to the debate show that we did, because I mean, honest, I was a bit taken back by the questions that Robbie threw to us. I mean, Mason Mount or Mason Greenwood, Roy Keane or John Terry. Like, I was a bit gobsmacked at some of the questions. I was a bit like, what? Is he really asking me this? So yeah, raw emotion in the watch along. Definitely come over and check it out on Don Robbie's channel. It should be entertaining, to say the least. I just hope that it's an entertaining game for us to be watching, Meg. I think I agree totally with you in the sense that the result is more important than the performance. But it would be nice for us, wouldn't it, Meg, to actually start a game quickly and be at the races? Because I genuinely feel like if we are at the races, we're good enough to beat Chelsea tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think we've seen at times we kind of grow into games, but I don't think you'll have much choice or much chance, against Chelsea to grow into games. They're on tremendous form, okay, and I haven't been blown away by their performances.
Yeah.
But Tuchel's not lost. He's been here eight games now and he's not lost. So he's grinding out results. He's getting them. They went behind at Southampton in the Premier League and they've come back and they've drawn there last weekend. Won in the midweek against Atletico. So I think we're not going to have that chance to grow into games, because I think Chelsea will just work hard for the whole 90 minutes. So I think if we can start quickly and just build on our own performance, we've got to be in it to win it tomorrow. So right from the off.
Yeah, I hope Werner keeps playing like the German Vidra tomorrow. That's what I'm going to say. The German Vidra, that's what I'm calling him, and I hope it stays that way. But we all know there's player in there. But look, for me, if we turn up, if we defend like we haven't done for a while, let's be honest, if we defend solidly and we counter-attack and we actually play to our potential and the way that we know that we can play, I have no doubt that we are good enough to beat Chelsea tomorrow. But I just fear defensively we're seeing that we switch off at times and we just haven't been firing on all cylinders going forwards. Like, we need to be more clinical. Not having Cavani worries me as well. I think he gives us a bit different. But we'll get into the battles in a minute. Prince, thank you so much for that super sticker. That's really kind of you. Really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope you are doing well and enjoying the content. But yeah, thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Meg, defence, I want to get onto. Lindelof, I believe he'll start. I would rather see Boye, but I believe Lindelof will start. Up against Giroud, does that worry you a bit going in tomorrow?
He's a dangerous player, isn't he? I just, perhaps one day I'll appreciate the fact that Giroud is good, but I cannot stand the man because he played for Arsenal, now he's playing for Chelsea, and he's one of them players that always just gets a goal, doesn't he? He's just in and about. He's a danger man. He's good in the air. Yeah, he's good in the air. I feel like that'll be a right battle between if we get Cavani tomorrow, perhaps, who knows. I'm still holding out that he's just playing a bit of mind games, that he might still be there, but you've got that Cavani kind of player in Giroud, haven't you? Where he's a little poacher in the box. He knows where the net is.
Could be right.
Anything in the air, Giroud, you would put money kind of on it, but I think that's where Lindelof and Maguire have got to be braver, and I think De Gea as well, in coming out from collecting crosses, he's got to be braver and he's got to be demanding it of his box tomorrow, so that we don't see the goals like we did midweek for Giroud. Yeah,
definitely, and it's a great goal, to be fair, by Giroud. It's one of them players, Giroud. I think when he turns up, I think he's a world-class striker, but he just doesn't always turn up. But no doubt about it, like you say, he's a goal scorer, and if you give him a sniff, then he'll put it away. But as Roy mentioned there, it could well be obviously Tammy, because Giroud played it in the week. But for me, like, if I'm Giroud and I'm Tuchel and I'm looking at our defence of the last few games, looking at how Lindelof coped against West Brom against the physical striker, I would be thinking that's an area I would want to target. But we'll see what happens. I think the one thing you would say is with Giroud there, that's a bit less pace running in behind, and we know that we are not the quickest at the back, and that's probably one positive way to look at it. Yeah. But physically, I'll just worry about that battle, definitely. In the midfield, obviously, McTominay is looking very unlikely that he will play. He hasn't trained, so he's still out. Donny will be back in the squad. Meg, I'm going to put it out there. Could you see Donny starting? Me personally, I couldn't see that. But then you're looking at a double left-footed midfield partnership, really, of Fred and Matic, aren't you? And
yeah, and
I'm not sold on that.
I'm not so. I don't think it's balanced with them two in the middle. It's too left foot dominated. And my issue also is that I think with the likes of like Mason Mount in and around the edge of the box, I kind of get worried with the Matic and the Fred because they're prone to giving a foul away. Both of them, you know, if you were a betting person, you know, Matic for a yellow card is normally odds on. Fred we always say him as a little like bulldog in that midfield. He works really hard, but his tackling can be a bit of suspect at times. So perhaps, you know, that'd be something they'll look at if we have those two players in there. We've just got to be careful about giving free kicks in and around the box for me, because we've already mentioned Giroud in the box if he plays, and players like Mason Mount and other players that they've got that I just feel like they can be a little bit of a dangerous midfield options.
Yeah, definitely. Nippon, obviously Chelsea fan. Nippon, let me know what your score prediction is for tomorrow and how you're feeling about it. Wishing no luck for tomorrow's game, but I hope you guys get past Milan in the last 16. Obviously, may the best team win tomorrow. That's all I can say. I'm just hoping for a more entertaining game. I would just like to see a few goals, to be honest, and obviously, hopefully, we score more. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, the whole Ole Tuchel battle. Obviously, you mentioned Tuchel coming in; he hasn't lost yet, and obviously, that's something that you need to be aware of. Obviously, on that preview with Sophie Rose, we were talking about their win against Atletico in the week and how well they played, and obviously Giroud got that goal. But for me, like, yes, Chelsea played well, but I described Atletico as the Burnley of Spain, the way that they played. Like, they did not play well at all, and I think they kind of played into Chelsea's hands. But obviously, credit where it's due. That was a big game for Chelsea, and like I say, it was a good result. And they'll be feeling confident from that, won't they, Meg? So I think it's important that we start quickly. And do you think it's a case where we will be playing on the counter-attack and we'll let Chelsea have more of the ball? Do you think that'll be what Ollie does tomorrow?
I don't know. I feel like if you're going to press them, they perhaps will make mistakes at the back. We saw it in the Atletico game. They made a couple of mistakes at the back, and I think they are there for the taking in their defence. I think we say this a lot about teams in the Premier League, because the strike force across teams in the Prem is so good. There's so much talent that quite often you see teams' attacking options outweigh their defensive options. So, and just like in ours, I feel like our attacking options are a lot better, and we perhaps can force them into mistakes at the back. So, but we have got pace. I don't know who's going to start, if I'm honest, because we have got options, but we have got pace up there. So perhaps trying to force them into playing and counter them could work.
Yeah, obviously Dan James, I think rumours are he's going to have a late fitness test. If he's fit, do you see him to start? Obviously, he's been in very good form recently. He kind of plays into that counter-attacking style of play, doesn't he? Like, his pace on the break could be really useful. And we've seen, to be fair, defensively, I know he conceded a penalty the other night, but he does work hard for the team and he does get back into position as well. Like, if Dan James is fit, do you think he starts, Meg?
I don't know. I don't think he does, only because I feel like if he's only just fit, then for me, he probably won't start, because perhaps if they've been training and he's not been there, or he's not been at 100% in training, does that affect it? I completely agree with what you say about the fact that he works so hard, but is that something that we can then look at doing later on in the game? If he's not going to make 90 minutes, can we bring him on perhaps when players are tiring and then try and get at them a little bit in from there? But I think it's just difficult when a player is touch and go and you are having a late fitness test to then be starting. I'm not sure how that kind of sits with me.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I agree with this. I think this will be the front three, because I'm not so certain that Dan James is fit enough to start the game. But maybe, like you say, he'll be on the bench and he's a possibility to bring on if the game opens up a little bit. Him running at Chelsea, especially with tired legs, that's what I would like to see. But Rashford, Martial and Greenwood being on that right, would you be happy with that front three, Meg?
Yeah, definitely. I've said this a few times. I just wish Greenwood can get a goal at the moment. Works incredibly hard. Still think that he's doing really well and he's doing the right things. always say that he plays better with Cavani.
Yeah.
I like that kind of partnership that they've kind of formed when Cavani's in the middle, Greenwood's on the right. You can see them kind of naturally, and like it's quite fluid the way that they switch roles. So if Cavani does come short, Greenwood's third man running into the middle. But perhaps try and see that a little bit more with Martial. But that front three, I think, it's dangerous. Okay, they've not hit the form that, well, Martial and Greenwood haven't hit the form that they have previously hit in last season. I think Rashford, we always say that he looks like he's playing at 80%, but if you look at the stats, he's doing so well, especially with Bruno. So it's a great front three if you're going to have those three.
Definitely. Blue says the point that Maguire is big and Giroud is big, therefore he should play, doesn't make sense to me. Giroud's a clever centre forward, if I'm honest, and I think even if Maguire does start, Giroud would be clever and he'd pin himself on Lindelof. He wouldn't pin himself on Maguire. I think he'd feel like he's got more chance against the likes of Lindelof. I don't know. I just can't see him. For me, Maguire will start regardless as skipper. Like we all know that Ollie loves him and he will start definitely. It's who starts alongside him, but I personally believe that it'll be Lindelof who starts again. I don't think Lindelof will be dropped. I'm Blue, thank you so much again for the contribution. Lindelof showed why he's better than Maguire against Sociedad. Don't tell me that Maguire would have slide tackled that ball out like Lindelof did. Personally, Meg, what's your thoughts on the whole Bailly and Lindelof combination? Like, I don't know why people are so against that. Like Bailly and Lindelof, I think is a decent pairing.
Yeah, I think the only issue that you've got is that you've got the club captain sat on the bench. And I just don't think that kind of will happen because I just think Maguire is one of, I'm not going to say Ollie's favourites, but because he is captain and because of the role that he's got at the club, that he will play. I don't, but if you're going to look at these next few games, this next month of games the run that we've got, I do think that there'll be changes throughout the different competitions. So think we'll see the Bailly and Lindelof again. I do think we perhaps might see the Maguire and Bailly combination again. And of course, I think tomorrow we'll see the Maguire and Lindelof combination. So
we could match Chelsea and maybe go with that back five. So play with three centre-backs. So you'd have Maguire, Lindelof and Bailly there. Luke Shaw left, Wan-Bissaka right. I mean, it could happen.
It could, but I think we should focus on us. I think we should focus on the fact that we play with the four at the back, the three, and then the three. I don't feel like we should have to change ourselves to kind of accommodate for the other team. So if they want to play five at the back and obviously push through their wing backs forward and leave a three, and then we play 3-on-3 against them, then why don't we do that? That's why we've got to be brave and say, do you know what? We're going to stay in the formation that we normally play with the four at the back, and go for it. I think if you start accommodating to the other team, they've already got a mental battle of, well, they've accommodated for us.
Yep. So you don't think we should be too respectful of Chelsea? You think we should just focus on our own game, play our system? Because obviously we've seen in the past as well. I think if you change system too much, like we've said, we want to start quickly. That doesn't happen if you're playing in an unfamiliar system. That's why we have these dodgy starts. Where we start slowly. We're not confident. I think we need to play the way that we know, and I kind of agree with that. Ross, thank you so much for the super chat. He says nothing to do with Lindelof is better than Maguire or Maguire better than Lindelof. It's to do with playing makes one of them much better. Exactly. I mean, you've heard Gary Neville say it. We've said it on here. Maguire is a very good defender. Lindelof is a very good defender. But together, it just doesn't seem like a great combination. And I completely agree. I think individually, they're all very good defenders. It's just what is the best partnership, isn't it, Meg? And after you as a centre-back, you will know that having a player alongside you who suits the way that you play. So, for example, someone who's quicker than you who can be a sweeper, where you've got an understanding. It helps, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, you are the core of the team, including the goalkeeper. And I'm going to add that in there as well because De Gea, I believe, will start. But that lack of confidence at the back and that lack of leadership that we seem to have, a lot of people would say that starts from the goalkeeper. Would you agree with that, Meg?
Yeah, and I've been watching recently clips online. I can't think of the account. It's on TikTok, but it shows and you can hear, because there's no fans, you can hear obviously the conversations and the communication from players on the pitch. And there was one particular video that I watched that was literally, I can't think which goalkeeper it was, but just a goalkeeper giving instructions, communicating constantly. And I think as a player, when you've got someone, I mean, the team that I play for, our goalkeeper does not shut up. She's known to just, literally chatting all the time. And but you know that they're there. I could literally know, like, is she on my right hand side? Is she on my left hand side? What's she doing?
Yeah.
And I think it's important that obviously these players are at the pinnacle of football. They're at the Premier League, one of the best leagues in the world. They will communicate, but it's just having that little bit of dominance in and around the box, I think, for De Gea, that could be improved, especially when coming out with crosses at times. And what's the saying? Like, attackers win your games, defenders win your leagues.
Win your titles,
That's probably not word for word what it is, but that's how important it is to have a solid defence. And the middle of it is the most important bit, isn't it?
We mentioned obviously Giroud and those crosses and our concern aerially and whatnot. This is a good point. Obviously, you've got the fullbacks. Wan-Bissaka is going to be up against Alonso and Werner. Shaw is going to have Azpilicueta and Hudson-Odoi possibly on his side. Like, we've got to stop those crosses coming in. It's about us defensively cutting out. But they're obviously their way of playing with the likes of Mason Mount, you've already mentioned. I think if we can starve those, Fred, if he can work hard and starve Mason Mount to the ball, for example, I think that's important for stopping the service to Drew, because then obviously that eliminates that. And I think like the midfield in particular is a massive battle for us yesterday. I think the game could be won or lost in that midfield. You're looking at the likes of Kovacic, Mason Mount, Jorginho, possibly, and maybe even Kante, obviously, could start for Chelsea. And you're looking at ours, and obviously McTominay, I just hope that we don't miss him too much. Fred, I think, is vital in there, breaking down play and whatnot. But like you've already mentioned, he's so good at winning the ball back. But when he's got the ball, he needs to be better, doesn't he? We need to look after it, because it could be a case tomorrow where we are under the cosh a little bit, and it's about us breaking at pace. And when we have got the ball, it's about us actually doing what's right with it, looking after it, and not trying to be too rash or too eager to get forward. Do you know what I mean? I think we've got to be careful on the ball, haven't we?
Yeah, I think it's that thing you said about the midfield being a battle. I think it'll be interesting to watch that Jorginho versus Bruno battle, or the Kante versus Bruno battle. We've said at the moment we feel like teams are keeping him quiet, and is he going to be able to find pockets of space in that midfield tomorrow to influence the game? Someone just put about having Rashford having a good game. It's about trying to give the surface to those front three, whether in that midfield we are going to be able to get the ball either to their feet when they want it, or breaking, splitting the defenders to get the ball through them so that Rashford and Greenwood can run onto it. Yeah.
But obviously we're talking a lot about Chelsea here and how we've got to eliminate them. Let's not forget, like, going forward, we are a very scary team to play against as well. Defensively, we've already mentioned they're quite vulnerable. Thiago Silva is still 80, isn't he? So they've had the likes of Rudiger, Christensen, maybe even Zuma playing for them at centre-back as well. Like, our forwards, I'm sure, will definitely feel they're going to get opportunities tomorrow. And it's like I've already mentioned, we've got to be clinical, haven't we, Meg? Because we've seen at times we've created the chances. It's not for the want of trying we've got there, but we just haven't finished the chances off. And obviously tomorrow it could be a game of a few chances, and we need to make sure we're clinical. And I think that is a big thing, definitely. I'm Blue, thank you so much for that contribution. He says the only reason Maguire plays every match is because of his price tag. It would be embarrassing for the Glazers that if Ollie dropped him. And as far as I know, the Glazers are not into humiliation and stuff like that. Yeah, his price tag definitely comes into it, Meg, and I do agree with that to a sense. I think there's been times where we've all said that Maguire deserved dropping after the whole Greece debacle and whatnot, but we felt that his head wasn't in the right place. But we've said it before, Ollie seems to play players through this poor form. He seems to hope that they can make the other side of it. But with Maguire, his price tag, obviously, you are right. The fact you pay at 80 million, it'd be embarrassing to sign a defender for 80 million and then not rely on him and not trust him and not play him. Completely agree with that. But also, I think from Maguire's perspective as well, I think he gets judged harshly because of that price tag as well. I think it kind of goes against him. Would you agree with that, Meg?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was his fault about the price tag, is it?
Exactly,
it's that's out of his hands in terms of what the clubs negotiate. But when you do have a price tag like that, yeah, perhaps Ollie wants to play him because, or the club wants to play him because we've spent that much money on him. Why would you sit a player like that on the bench? Because otherwise it's just a waste of money. But like I said, he's club captain, and I think the role that he's got at the team, I just don't see him being dropped anytime soon.
I don't see that either.
Unnecessarily dropped, I should say.
I do think the price tag does come into it, to be fair. But to be fair, he didn't play in the week, did he, as well? So I think that tells you your intention straight away of Ollie. Like, Maguire will start this weekend. Like, no doubt about that. Sharik says we keep playing the deep line in set pieces and don't get second balls, and this has led to our detriment. Yeah. Set pieces worry me, Meg. We do not look convincing at all, do we, when we're defending set pieces?
No, we do not clear our lines. I mean, and this is where I said about, perhaps De Gea being a little bit more demanding in his box, and not. You don't want to hold their hand and clear the ball because obviously it'd be way out of position, but not literally, but kicking the ball with them and saying you literally clear the line. So as soon as that ball drops, you've anticipated where it's going, and that's like what their Harry Maguire had the other week. He's won the first ball, but when it's dropped, we haven't anticipated the fact that we need to be literally on top of it as it drops. Sheffield United didn't clear our lines.
I think at times we're too reactive rather than being proactive. We're like too late to react to the block. Do you know what I mean? Or too late to react to the bouncing ball. Too late to win the second header. And it's like it's in the back of the net before our players have reacted sometimes. I just think we haven't got proactive defenders. Can you coach that though, Meg? I think that's the thing, is it? Can you coach a defender to have that natural instinct?
No, I think you've got the likes of Wan-Bissaka, who is a very good defender. The fact that his tackling, like I said, is just second to none. If you want to look at how to defend, literally look at what Wan-Bissaka does, because his eyes do not move off the ball. But and I will add that the way that he blocks and the way that Bailly just throws himself in front of the ball don't quite see the same. Luke Shaw, I'm not criticising him, but you don't kind of see that as you would to the others. Maguire has done it. He did it against Villa in the last minute, I believe. If anybody remembers this, because obviously I'm a defender and this is what I get excited about, the fact that he blocked the ball. But yeah, did it in the last minute, literally threw his body in front of the ball. And it's just things like that when the ball is dropping, that you've got to be out there. And if you for me, I think it should just come naturally. You can't teach that. If you're a defender, that's why you're a defender, because you'd rather throw yourself at the ball rather than kick it in the goal.
Can I just say as well though, like with Maguire, I've already mentioned, because of his price tag, he can just get a lot of stick. But there's been times as well where we've seen some exceptional blocks from him. There've been games where he's defended fantastically well, and I think people are far too quick to jump onto the negative. There's no reason why Maguire can't have an absolute worldie of a game tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? A score a header, even though I keep calling him 20 pence head and whatnot, but he can score a header. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't turn a bad player overnight. Maguire is not a bad player. I think it's just about finding that perfect partner for him, isn't it? I just don't think we've found that yet. Stephen says that Fred has improved his forward passing. Obviously, he did get that assist not so long back, didn't he? Well, kind of an assist, the through ball that led to the goal. But for me, he's just too erratic on the ball at times. It's like he's always got to try and play that worldie pass. Do you know what I mean? He's always got to try and play that pass. And when it comes off, like we mentioned, for that one that led to the goal for Bruno, great pass. But when it doesn't come off, you're kind of pulling your hair out, because you think you've worked for 10 minutes to try and get that ball back, and you've got it, and you're giving it away in a matter of a few seconds. You know what I mean? I think tomorrow is important that when we do get the ball, we look after it. And I think that's a big part of it. And that's something that, for me, Fred needs to improve on, Meg.
Yeah, I mean, the week he just kicked the ball out of play. So, if it's something for Fred that he's just got to find his own player to start with. But, it's going to be, I just think the whole thing's going to be a little bit cagey.
Yeah, question for you, Meg. What shirt number do you wear this season?
Do you know what? I used to wear number 6, and I love that number. That was like mine. Like, I love number 6. And then after obviously being pregnant and then having my child, I was out for 2 seasons. The girl that came in has now become captain, and she wore number 6. So I now wear number 5.
There you go.
Long-winded story, but yeah, I wear number 5.
Maguire.
If I had to pick, I'd pick number 6.
Maguire, mate, you can't get rid of that tag now. It's just there forever. But going forward tomorrow, obviously we said Martial will play centrally. I don't know about you, Meg, but I know the game was already won the other day and whatnot, but I thought Martial looked a lot sharper. I thought his movement was a lot better. He created a few opportunities for himself where he got a shot away. I don't know, I felt like he got a bit between his teeth midweek. It was like he was dying to get a goal. Unfortunately, he didn't. But I'm hoping that he brings that fire, because we all know that Martial on his day can be unplayable, but we just haven't seen that enough, have we? So I just hope tomorrow that he turns up, because I've already said it, Meg, there's goals in it for us, definitely, isn't it? If we perform and we click going forwards, there's definitely goals. Yeah,
and I think we've said it's a big game in terms of the United as a whole, but it's a big game for Martial tomorrow, because I just feel like he's not quite hitting the form at the moment that we want him to hit. Rashford's playing really well, and I just hope for Martial, he's going to have, obviously looking at Cavani, obviously not being there, but coming back soon. That if he doesn't step it up, you know, he's gonna be cut probably for Cavani next time he's available.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I agree with this statement. He hasn't had a good day for a while, but I did think he looked a bit sharp midweek. Like I say, he had a few where he cut in and got a shot off, didn't he? Like, we haven't even seen that from him in weeks. We've kind of forgot that he was even playing. So I'm just hoping that he finds some confidence from somewhere. Even if, like you say, if he scores a goal and it comes off his bum, I really do not care. But I just feel like tomorrow, like, he's an important player for us, because we need to make sure when we get the ball, we hold the ball, and we need to make sure we're breaking at pace, and we need to see him running into those channels and moving, because his movement simply hasn't been good enough. Tomorrow we need him to be on it, and that's what I mean. I think he plays a really important role for us tomorrow, definitely. But going into that, Meg, we're going to run through what we believe the starting lineup would be. I think we'll stick to 4 at the back, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do go to a 5. I'm guessing you agree with me that De Gea will go in goal. And obviously in the chat, guys, get in your starting 11s, what you expect to see as well. Obviously, nip on as well, and any other Chelsea fans, let me know what you predict you guys are going to go with, and we'll obviously go through ours. But De Gea in goal, Meg. I'm guessing you agree with that one.
Yeah.
Back 4 for me, Wan-Bissaka. I'm going to go Lindelof and Maguire. Shaw left back.
Yeah.
The one that we're familiar with seeing. Do you agree with that, or do you think there is a chance that Boye could come in?
No, I think it will be the standard, if you want to call it that, the standard back 4 for the Premier League games that we have seen throughout this season. And like I said, I do think we'll see Boye come into the team, not for tomorrow, but for the next run of games when we change in between different competitions.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Midfield, and I hate to say this, but Fred and Matic, 2 lefties in that midfield. I personally don't want to see that. Obviously, Donny is back, but I can't see him coming into that midfield. I think Ollie will kind of go preservative in that sense. Fred and Matic, would you be happy with that?
I think it's what we'll see, because I think, like, if you've been injured and you're coming back, and like for instance with Donny, he hasn't been in the first 11. You haven't really been seeing that. Then I don't see why now it would change because he's been injured and he's coming back. I just don't think that perhaps now is the moment that it's all going to change for him.
Yeah.
So I think we will see Fred and Matic in there. I
think McTominay is a big loss for us, definitely, and him being out, rumoured to be out, is gutting. But if I'm pretty sure it'll be McFred, but because McTominay's not there, I just feel like Matic will naturally come and slot into that. And I just worry about the mobility in that middle and the pace. Do you know what I mean? And I think, like we've already mentioned, 2 left foots in there as well, and very left-footed players as well, like very reluctant to use their right. I just feel like the balance just does not feel right. Amorosa says, when I'm doing the watch along tomorrow, don't forget to ban Chelsea, be as toxic as you can. Honestly, tomorrow you guys will see what I'm really like watching a match, especially a tense match like this as well. And that's all I'm saying. Raw emotion. I don't. You know me. I do not put anything on. Like, what you see is what you get. And yeah, you guys keep saying you want to see a watch along. So tune in tomorrow. Don Robbie's channel. I believe the stream starts at 4 o'clock. Obviously, kickoffs at 30:30. So yeah, come and tune into that. Ryan says, no. What I expect. What I'll do is 3-5-2. So he's got Henderson in goal, dropping De Gea. Wow. Wan-Bissaka, Boye, Maguire. Shaw as a left centre back. Tellers left wing back. Matic, Fred, Bruno, Rashford, and Greenwood. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing that, to be honest with you. Apart from Henderson, I think De Gea will start. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Definitely. Good evening to Michael. I hope you are good. Sonny says our hat game is better than Flex's. I don't know. I bet Flex has got a collection. His Fresh Ego collection. I've seen changes in every stream. I think that takes some beating. Came from France, would sing tomorrow hopefully we are singing that tomorrow if Tony Martial scores. Ice Cold Tammy believes that Chelsea will go with Mendy in goal, Aspilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, so 3 centre backs, Alonso left wing back, Dan James, Rhys James right wing back, Jorginho, Kovacic, Werner, Mount, and then Giroud. So obviously you believe that Giroud will start. I think that will happen as well. It'd be interesting to see if that does happen, Meg, if they do go with that, whether we do try and match them or whether we do like you say, our own system and stick to that. And I think it's interesting to see how brave that Ollie's going to be in that sense, just being away from home as well. It's going to be an interesting one. But Fred and Matic, obviously, I'm guessing you agree with me, Bruno will be just ahead of them, obviously, in that cam role. And then the front 3, I'm going to go Greenwood on the right, Martial centrally, Rashford on the left. And that's obviously down to the fact that Cavani is out and Dan James is out as well.
Yeah, completely agree with that lineup. I just think for us a 4-2-3-1 or whatever you're gonna put three up top at some point, aren't you?
Yeah.
And Martial will play in a line with Rashford and Greenwood. I just think for us, if that's what we're used to and that's our system, then play it.
Yeah.
Don't adapt to others. Let them have to worry about us.
Yeah. I'm just laughing at someone said do not be like Ty. Mope, you're a disgrace. That clip still gets me today. The fact that he's like, I want to say thank you to the NHS, and then he gets up to the camera and he's like, Mope, you're a disgrace. I hope you get relegated. Like, the switch in it, just every time, it just makes me laugh. Did you watch the Valentine's video that he did recently as well? But it takes like the whole pizza. Yeah, it took like the whole pizza. That's too funny. Yeah, Ty's funny. It makes me laugh. I think it's just naturally just entertaining, just funny. In the United team, where are the goals coming from? Bruno, Rashford. No one else is scoring. I hope that you're wrong about that tomorrow, Ian. I hope that Martial scores. I hope Harry Maguire scores a screaming header.
I think at the moment I kind of agree with it, but then I look back at that Southampton 9-0, and I think we had 7 different goal scorers. So I think, okay, if we're still scoring goals, if it comes from Bruno and Rashford, only Bruno and Rashford, okay. But I think we are. We haven't shared them out equally like we did last season with Martial, obviously matching Rashford. They were like neck and neck for a while, weren't they? Who was going to get to 20 first time round? But I do think we have got goals within other players.
What's your thoughts? I've just seen Connor's comment there. Shola, Ahmad, obviously both came on the other day. I was buzzing for Shola, honestly, so buzzing for both of them, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to judge them on that, isn't it, on what we saw? But do you think they'll be in the squad again tomorrow?
Yeah, I think they will. They will do, especially if we're missing a couple of players and there's an opportunity to be in the team. Matt is not going to be there, is he, as well? McTominay was saying, Cavani, Dan James is being assessed.
Pogba, obviously, is out.
Pogba's not going to be there. So there's places on the bench to be had. Is it sure? See, I pronounced it wrong the other time, so we're just going to call him Shola. I can't get over the fact that he's so baby faced.
He is. I've got Tammy. Yes, we will. Sorry, Meg. Yes, we will be on tomorrow, 4:00 on Don Roberts' channel. Me and Soph are live. Should be an interesting one. I've already mentioned it's going to be raw emotion. It'll be different to the debate where we were kind of not led, but the questions were very hard to answer. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be raw emotion tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, and in terms of the goals, by the way, Meg, I saw someone said Fred's going to score a screamer tomorrow. I just hope he does, because Fred's shooting, by the way. Fred Flintstone when he gets
I still like the fact that he stands next to free kicks. What are you doing? Why are you standing there? They must Bruno and Rashford must look at each other, and then Fred just
nobody's falling for this, mate. Nobody's falling.
He has so much eagerness to just take a free kick. Maybe one day he will, and they'll prove us all wrong. But bless him.
The new baby-faced assassin is saying for Shola, definitely baby-faced assassin. And someone just said, there you go. Ross said that he likes how Diallo looks so confident and composed. He doesn't shy away from it, does he? He does not shy away from it at all. And yeah, that's what I said about him. He doesn't look fearful. He gets the ball. He's not afraid to try something. And you know what? He's a lot faster than what I thought as well, Ahmad, to be fair. I'm judging this on FIFA. He's got a pro card because obviously he's young, but his pace isn't very good. And I saw him in real life and I was like, well, that's not accurate at all. But then again, have you seen Mason Greenwood on FIFA, Meg? Have you seen how it just looks absolutely nothing like him?
No, I've not seen it.
After this, Google Mason Greenwood on FIFA 21.
I'm gonna Google it now.
It's embarrassing. Of all the money that's been invested into this, and Greenwood isn't an unknown player. He was playing last season as well. To think that they get it so wrong, if I was Mason, I would be offended. I'm just putting it that way, definitely.
She's not him.
Is there anyone that you're afraid of from our squad tomorrow? I've already mentioned Giroud and that battle with Lindelof. I think Mason Mount is a player definitely to be wary of. I think he is a key player for Chelsea. He's almost he's the one who kind of drags you guys up when you're not doing so well. I think Mason Mount quite often is that guy who pops up, isn't it? So I think, Mason Mount is definitely one that I fear. And Werner, I know I've just called him the German Vidra as a joke, but look, there's a quality player in there. I've already said that. I wanted him at United. I'm not going to lie about that. and he just hasn't hit the ground running yet. But at some point he will, and I'm just hoping that isn't tomorrow, definitely. But Mount, yeah, for me, he's the main one. Meg, what about you? What players would you say you fear? And have you seen Greenwood on FIFA?
I fear Greenwood on FIFA. I don't know if it's going to show up.
But how is that Mason Greenwood? Look, yeah, you can see it. It looks nothing like him. How did he go wrong?
Who have they looked at? Who have they looked at to get that? Yeah, Mount. I think. Do you know what? I'm just glad that he's English. That when we come to the Euros in the summer, that you can support a player like that and not be afraid to say it, because the boy's talented.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be. He's difficult. He's difficult to play against. I think.
It does. It does.
Yeah, and I think for them, he's their kind of like little golden boy at the moment, isn't he? So, and he's full on confidence. So,
yeah,
he's
a good player.
He's a good player. You can say that. You can say that he's a good player because he is.
Of course, but I was put on the spot of seeing. I was told to compare Mason Greenwood, and Mason to Mason Mount, and who was going to be like the player in the future. And I was trying to explain it in the sense that, don't get me wrong, Mason Mount is a very good player, but Greenwood's kind of got that star quality player. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got that generational talent. Like, for me, like, he's like the wow player. But it's important though. Mount has proven like he's professional. He's got the right attitude. Greenwood, I think we yet to see that. Obviously, stuff has happened at England. Obviously, with Phil Foden and whatnot. He just needs to knuckle down and play football. And I think if he can stay grounded, for me, like Greenwood, he could be one of the best. I genuinely do think that the way he can go either way. I just think that he's more of a flair player. But it's so hard to compare them, isn't it? Because they're just totally different players.
Yeah, and they're not playing the same position. And I think it's unfair sometimes to judge a player against somebody else, because you've got to take in consideration the form that they're on, the team that they're playing with as well. So let's just say, look, they're both going to be an unreal talent when they're older. At the age that they are now, and they're playing top tier, big clubs in the Premier League. Premier League being one of the best leagues in the world. They've got it all at their feet, literally. So I just hope that the pair of them and of the players across the Premier League right now, that we see a lot of young talent, and I just hope, for our sake, because the majority of them are English, that they keep pushing on. Yeah,
twisted clocking my trainers on the show the other day. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. If you know me, you know that I collect shoes, and I mean, Meg will vouch for that as well. Like, very rarely wear the same trainers. I've got a bit of a problem, if I'm totally honest with you. But yeah, that's like my hobby, collecting trainers, definitely. So let's not forget, Ollie beat Tuchel twice. He did lose twice, but that was PSG, and PSG is way better than Chelsea. Yeah, but like Meg said, we can't go into this complacent. We should have some confidence from the fact that our away form is so good. But also at the same time, I'm a realist, and I know that against West Brom, for example, we came away a draw, which looks great, not great, but looks good on our record, because we still haven't lost away from home. But we could have quite easily lost that game, Meg, couldn't we? I think luck was very much on our side in that one.
Yeah, and I think that's where you're completely right. Like, the record still stands, but should we have gone and won it? I just think tomorrow, if we really want to go on and keep ourselves in contention, let's say, because I know Man City is so far ahead at the moment that it kind of looks like, we're not going to catch them. But if we want to catch them, and if there's going to be any opportunity to catch them, tomorrow is a must-win for us.
Every game's a must-win. That's what I said when we talk about this title race, and people saying, "Oh, we need to look at City and make sure they drop points." For me, we don't need to do that. We need to just make sure we don't drop points. And we've proven already that against the lesser teams, we're capable of dropping points. And I think tomorrow, away from home, yes, so we should be feeling positive, but there's no way that we should be feeling complacent. I'm kind of grateful that Ollie's been able to rest a few players. I was so shocked when he started Bruno in the week. I was not expecting that. But obviously, he did manage to get players off at half-time. So players have had a bit of a rest, and I'm just hoping that we're feeling fresh. And like I say, I think a quick start tomorrow is essential. Chelsea being at home, they'll just grow into the game and they'll get more confident. And I think it's important that we start quickly. We've already said, cut out the supply line. They're going to try and put it up to Giroud, who will fancy the battle against Lindelof. And I'm just hoping that we turn up. If we turn up, I'm confident that we can get the right result tomorrow. But if we don't, then I do fear for us, because I do think we're vulnerable at the back. Chelsea will be confident at the moment. So, yeah, I think it's a really interesting game. I'm just praying, Meg, that it's not another boring 0-0. I really am. Guys, next part of the show, I'm obviously going to ask for the score predictions. So get your score predictions into the chat as well, and any goal scorers that you think will score as well. Obviously, Meg, I'm going to come to you and say what your score prediction is for this one. Personally, I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm not going to write off a draw, but I'll never bet against United. I'm going to go for a United win, but it's going to be tight, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what? So the Caps are giving us the same energy tonight, because I'm sat here thinking, if I'm completely honest, I could see a draw happening tomorrow. I just think it'll be cagey.
Yeah.
But obviously, I want Manchester United to win. So I'm not going to sit here and think and say, "Oh, we're not going to win." But I can honestly see a draw still. Obviously, so what I want is perhaps something different than what I think will happen.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I obviously would like Manchester United to win. I'd love it to be a convincing win, as everyone probably would as a Manchester United fan. So if it was something that I would like to see, I think both teams will score, and I think it would be a 2-1 to United.
Yeah.
But I could also see that being a 2-2 or a 1-1. I think both teams will score.
Or a 2-1 the other way. And I don't want to say that, but I think it's going to be one of them games. I think it's going to be tight. Let's have a look what you guys are saying in the chat. So Ice Cold Tammy said it's going to be a 1-0. He thinks Mount will score. Danny thinks it'll be 2-0 to us. I hope so. I really hope. Yeah, I hope so. 1-1, Rashford and Giroud with the games. Ollie with the mind games. Curtis said so it's a draw. So I said I wouldn't be surprised to see a draw, but I haven't told you my prediction yet. Ross says 2-0. Another recap from last season. James says 1-1, but I'm hoping that you win tomorrow. Thank you, James. So do I. And obviously, best of luck at Everton. Is it Monday Everton play? I think it is, isn't it? Sharik says 4-1. Is that? I'm guessing that's to United. You put a little red symbol, so I'm guessing it's to United. Oh yeah, corrected it there. Thank you, Doug. Thank you for that. Just like, share, and subscribe, guys. Please, if you haven't, please do hit that sub button. I'd really appreciate it. A Rashford double 2-0. But that I would like to see. You do kind of feel that Rashford could have like a final say in this game tomorrow. I think he's an important player, definitely.
If he can pull out another free kick like he did at Stamford Bridge, then
yeah,
I'll just be sat there like this. Wow.
If that happens on the watch along,
that makes for some good entertainment.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'll do to react. But yeah, I think it'll be entertaining, definitely. Ross is 2-0 to United. My stomach is churning over this game. I feel it. Okay, I really do not hope it's Kane, and I hope it's not another Spurs game. I really do. 3-1, Rashford, Tony, and Bruno to get the goals. 2-2, United conceding last minute. See that? Yeah, I can't even It's weird. It's one of these games where all of these scorelines I could see happening.
Yeah, I just can't predict how tomorrow's going to go. We are inconsistent at the best of times, and Chelsea have been, like I said, on this 8-game streak where they've not lost.
Yeah.
We'll either show up and we'll be amazing, or we can literally show up like we did at the start of the season against Palace or someone like that and be out of the game. So
yeah,
you never know which United you're going to get.
Twisted, I can answer that. No, I'm really not, which is why I'm actually really nervous about the show tomorrow, because I don't know how I'm going to react on camera. No, I'm not a very good loser at all. James, yes, it's Monday. Southampton at home. All the best, obviously, for Everton against Southampton. James, 3-1 to United, easy. I really hope so. I wish I had that confidence, Paul. I really do. I love the video says 0-0. Let's be realistic. Please, no. Please, not another 0-0. Please. Let's hope Bruno plays a blinder. But I can see him being kicked off the pitch with those defenders. Yeah, I hope Bruno turns up as well. We all know how important he is, and he definitely keeps us ticking, doesn't he? Yeah, hopefully. As long as Rashford doesn't take the free kick too quickly. Yeah, Meg, I heard about this today. I was walking, I missed it.
I've not seen it yet, but I have heard about it.
The whistle was blown, so they took it quick. And then is it VAR ruled it out afterwards or whatever? I don't even know.
I'm waiting to see it later.
Yeah, I'll be watching it on Match of the Day later, definitely. But what's this one? Have you not seen the vid on here where we have lost? Yeah, you know what? Someone said this to me at work the other day. They said that I don't hide my emotions very well on my face, and I was like, do I not? Like, I thought I did, but apparently I don't. So you'll definitely know how I'm feeling tomorrow. Yeah, you will know. But my score prediction tomorrow, I'm going to go with a 2-1 United win. I think there's going to be one goal in it either way. I really do. I think it's going to be a tight one. I agree with Meg. Both teams will score. I also can't write off a draw, so maybe a 1-1. But I'm going to, as I always do, I'm going to back United. I'm going to go over 2-1. Goal scorers, I'm going to go Rashford. I think he's going to have an important one. And I'm actually going to go with a Harry Maguire header. I actually am going to go with a header. I just feel like he's got a goal coming. I feel like he's had a lot of stick. And what a game.
Let's just hope Lindelof doesn't karate kick anybody out of the way.
Yeah, I kind of felt for him though. It looked like working slow motion. I think he jumped really early, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he just clattered the player in front of him. But yeah, it was definitely a foul. I mean, if Fulham need him in the head, didn't he? It was dangerous play. I think he just leaped really, really early. And that's why it just looked so bad, because everyone else was kind of grounded and Lindelof was in the air. He just full on took him out. But 2-1 is my prediction. Fingers crossed that we do get that win, but I'm just hoping, like Meg says, that we get the result more so than the performance. But I'm hoping it's going to be an entertaining game. I mean, I've got to do a watch along, so I'm definitely hoping it's entertaining, because it's going to be a bit dull, isn't it, if it's a boring 0-0. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Meg, thank you so much for coming on as always and taking the time out to come and join us. Bits and bobs, make sure you go and subscribe over there, guys. Did a great interview with me the other week, and Meg, they've dropped you a DM. So it's like, please can you reply? I did explain to him the other day that Meg is absolutely hopeless at replying. So I did explain the situation.
That's so bad.
Yeah. You know what it is? You're just so busy. That's what it is. You're just so busy.
Do you know the first time I sat down today? I've still not had tea. It's 8:55.
I haven't either.
I'm just waiting and this is how busy I've been today. I'm on 22,500 steps today.
Wow, impressive.
So, and I just want to throw in there that I did get a 5k PB today. just want to say that to everybody. That
Stanley says, Sophie, open a bottle of champagne if we win. Rumours are that whoever wins does get a toast of something with Robbie at the end of the stream. That's what I'm hearing. So yeah, I will be celebrating if we win. When we win, should I say? Should I say when we win? Should I be like more confident than that and say when we win?
About
it? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Cantona is the best karate kick. 100%. That's what Lindelof. I think he was trying to replicate that a little bit. I don't know, but yeah, it was definitely a foul either way. But I was gutted for Tuanzebe. I would have been so buzzing for him to get that goal. It's a great header as well, and he had a little cameo in midfield. We could see Tuanzebe in the middle tomorrow, but I think it seems unlikely, Meg.
Yeah, I just think that was perhaps we will see him in Europa League, or no, we won't probably. I'm pushing that. Oh no. It depends how the first leg goes.
Yeah. But guys, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. If you are new, obviously please hit that sub button, hit the like button on the video as well if you like the content. Me and Meg will be back. I imagine early on next week. Obviously, we won't be around tomorrow for the cool down, as I am in London for that watch along with Sophie Rose on Don Robbie's channel. Please come and join me over there, guys. Obviously, I'm in London. I'm on Chelsea territory. I need you guys to back me up in the chat and help me out. And fingers crossed for a positive one. Doug, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And I hope you are doing well. I have seen you WhatsApp me and I will reply. I do apologise. It's been a bit of a manic one. So thank you for your contribution. And make sure you go and subscribe to the Dugout as well. It's hit over 1K now, which is fantastic. Really good content over there. But yeah, guys, take care. Fingers crossed for a great game tomorrow and a positive result for us United fans. But either way, enjoy yourselves. Stay positive. Me and Meg will speak to you soon. Bye.